Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. A few things. I have a couple of yoga blocks. If you don't have those, I've found that 2 thick books can be a great substitute. Also, a folded blanket. Maybe that's the throw blanket from your couch. You could use a beach towel if you've got a nice fluffy bath towel, something that you might sit up on or even pad your knees with. And I encourage you also to look around your house. There can be cushions, pillows, things that you can use to add an easefulness to this practice. I am on a yoga mat. If you don't happen to have one, I suggest an area that is carpeted, or maybe you've got a nice sturdy rug, just not something that is slippery or hard. So hardwood floors, linoleum, not so much. Once we've got that, we'll start standing at the front edge of our mat. And if you don't have a mat, just imagine that you've got the short edge of your mat with your feet hip distance apart. Add a little bit of bend to your knees. We don't want to lock our legs out. In fact, we're not going to lock anything out. And we are focused a bit on alignment and ease today. Hopefully always, but in particular today. And then in terms of our arms, take your arms in front of you, palms face each other. Make some big circles away from one another. Let's feel this manifest in our shoulder joints, so that now, as we rest our arms along our sides, palms facing out, it's not just a flick of the wrist and then our hunch. We have discovered something that's making us stand a little bit taller. You can imagine a string out the top of your head and a rootedness into the earth. And in between that is our alignment work physically, and also our breath work, which contributes. Every inhale reminds us of that string and standing tall, and every exhale is like a comfort, a rootedness, a groundedness. Let's do just that for a couple of moments of silence. It is our breath that guides our movement. So let's keep it very simple to align breath and movement. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky V, and then just exhale, float your arms along your sides, palms face out. That much again. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, arms along your sides. One more time. Inhale, V. Exhale, arms along your sides. This time, inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, take your hands onto your thighs. Let's use our thighs like props. Press your hands into your thighs and find the string in the crown of your head. Let that grow longer. And then keep your spine long, let it be a hinge at your hips, and go a little bit deeper. You might slide your hands down. You don't have to. You can keep your hands right there on your thighs. Maybe they go to your shins, maybe even towards your ankles, but we're not rushing to get to our ankles. We're more interested in aligning our spine. Then we will inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. And remember, it's coming from our shoulder joint as our arms float along our sides and we stand in our mountain pose. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, maybe to your shins or your ankles. Slide your hands back up. Inhale even longer. The string in the crown of your head takes you longer. We'll exhale, slide in. We fold in, but we don't lose the length in our spine. And then we inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V. Arms along your sides, palms facing out. We'll keep flowing. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins, or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up, then bend your knees as deeply as you need to place your palms flat and step back to down dog. A couple of things here in down dog. It's not bent elbows, we're not collapsed. Imagine unscrewing 2 jars away from each other with your hands. Press into your hands, bend your knees, let your hips lift up towards the sky like they want to fit into that corner where the wall and your ceiling meet. You could even walk your feet wider. I've got my knees bent and I'm on the balls of my feet. I highly recommend that for all of us. And then just walk it forward. Feet are hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Glide your hands down, exhale. We inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V. And then we pause with our arms along our sides and our smiling collarbones to boot. Let's keep flowing. Inhale, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Inhale, lengthen your spine, bend your knees. Palms need to be flat before we step back. Hips go up and back. A bend to your knees is a great idea. You can think of trying to align your arms and your ears, and then glide it forward towards a plank, shoulders over our wrists. Push the ground away so there's no collapse here either. And then lift your hips up, up, up. Bend your knees, down dog. Let your head relax between your arms. Walk your feet forward, hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up. Inhale. Glide your hands down. Exhale. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V, and then we stand in our mountain with our palms facing out. Inhale, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, or shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees, palms go flat, step back, add bend to your knees, lift your hips up. It's possible that you start to think of straightening your legs a bit. I wouldn't be in a rush to get there. If it's rounding your spine, that's not what you want to do. Come forward into a plank, shoulders over wrists, and now bring your knees down. Your knees are a little further back in space than if we were going to our hands and knees, and every one of us is going to need to make sure we're not collapsed. So push the ground away actively, lift your low belly towards your spine. Keep that action as we lower towards our belly with our elbows brushing our ribs. We go in slow motion, and then we will uncurl our toes and bring our forearms onto our mat. Sphinx pose, drag your elbows towards you as if they were going to move. Press the tops of your feet down into your mat, lift your kneecaps. Be careful that this doesn't become you overusing your neck. Let it be spacious, easeful. Let's align it. Let's align it with our heart moving through the gateway of our arms. Lower down, bring your hands next to your ribs. Curl your toes under. Be strong through your belly as we come in one piece to all fours. And then lift your hips like there's a hook in your tailbone, up and back to down dog. Arms and ears try to align. Walk forward, feet come to our hands. They're hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Glide your hands down, exhale. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we stand with our arms along our sides, palms facing out. Inhale, V. We'll put that all together. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees, palms flat, step back, down dog. So remember, arms and ears aligning, hips trying to get to that corner where ceiling and wall meet. Then shift it forward, shoulders over wrists. Bring your knees down, keep pushing the ground away as we lower. Elbows brush our ribs and we come to our belly. Uncurl your toes. Either keep your hands where they are or do that Sphinx pose with your forearms down. Press into the tops of your feet. Grow long. Find the string in the crown of your head even here. Lower down. Curl your toes under. Come in one chunk to all fours. And then let your hook in your tailbone take you to a down dog. We walk forward. Feet come to our hands. They're hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up. Inhale, glide your hands down. Exhale. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V. Arms along your side, palms face out. We'll keep flowing, but add some friends to our flow. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees, palms go flat. We step back to down dog. Arms and ears are trying to align. This time, lift your right leg back behind you and swoop that right leg forward. Many, if not most of us, will need to help it along. No shame in that. Snag your two blocks, or perhaps you've got books, and frame that right foot with your two books or blocks. Walk your right foot over to the right so you're not on a tightrope. You've got a little sideways space here. Imagine that we're on our bellies again, and you're using your books or blocks to lengthen your spine. You're finding that string in the crown of your head. We're not letting our right hip swing out to the right. We want to hug that beneath us, and then we'll bend our back knee, our left knee, and upright our torso with a V shape, thumbs to the sky. It's possible while we're here that you work that back leg a little bit towards straight. I just don't want you pitching your body forward. So often, for most of us, bending that back knee and then really finding a little bit of oomph in our glutes is a good thing all around. Carefully, maybe by way of your blocks, come to down dog, palms flat, step it back, arms and ears are trying to align. You can always bring your knees down for a break or join me as we come towards a plank, pushing the ground away. We'll bring our knees down here and then firm through your belly and come all the way down to the earth. Uncurl your toes, press the tops of your feet, drag your hands or maybe your forearms. Remember, it's not our chin, it's the crown of our head that's lengthening. Lower down, curl your toes under. In one chunk, we come to all fours. And then our hips lift us up and back into down dog. Lift your left leg back behind you. Step that left foot forward. It's possible that you help it along. Let's trot our two blocks or books into the mix. Walk our left foot over to the left. So like I said, we're really emphasizing easefulness and alignment. This wide stance is going to help both. Bend your back knee. Feel like there's a little traction maybe in your hands with your blocks. And then we upright our torso with a V shape. And we probably keep that bend in our back knee. We're hugging left hip back and right hip forward a little bit. And you never need to straighten that back leg unless you really want to. 2 moments. We'll bring our hands to our mat, and it's a good idea to use your blocks because you can also move them out of your way. We step it into down dog. Arms and ears are trying to line up. Walk your feet forward to your hands, hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up. Inhale. Glide your hands down. Exhale. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we stand and pause in our mountain. It's a lot of flow. It's a lot of information. Let's soak for a moment here in the simplicity of a stance. Inhale, V. Exhale, hinge, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale, palms flat, so bend your knees, step back to your down dog. Once you're in down dog, lift your right leg. Once again, step it forward, help it along. Bend your back knee. You can use your blocks. That's a very good tool. We used it together earlier. Upright your torso, and we're in our crescent pose. This time, we will drop our left heel, our back heel, and open our bodies to the left. Walk this right foot over towards the left a little bit, and make sure that there's a nice straight line from your right knee to your right ankle. We're at about a 45 degrees with that back heel. Our arch in our back foot is lifted and alive. The outer edge is rooted and grounded, and our arms are wide with our thumbs to the sky. 3 moments here in Warrior Two. Make a karate chop with your right forearm. And it's not a karate chop where everything collapses. So press into that right forearm and left arm up to the sky. I think for most of us, this is our best shot, our best position. Some of you might take your block on the outside of your right foot. All of us are looking to create space between this right shoulder and our right ear. You might be more comfortable with your left hand on your hip. That's a great way to do this. Instead of collapsing our chest to the ground, let's roll our chest towards the sky and feel that right hip hug underneath us. And then we have 3 moments together here. We'll simply spin on our back toes, position our hands on the ground. So move blocks out of the way, step to down dog. Feel free to stay in down dog or come forward towards a plank, push the ground away, ease your knees to your mat, and then with your core nice and strong, lower slow motion all the way to the ground. Uncurl your toes, press into the tops of your feet, Think string in the crown of your head as you make a long, strong back bend. Your forearms can be on the ground. Lower down. Curl your toes under. We come through all fours, and the hook in our tailbone takes us to down dog. Then you'll lift your left leg back behind you. Step that left foot forward. Feel free to help it along. You might trot your blocks into the mix so you know that you stick your landing. Firm your belly, bend your back knee, V shape as we upright. And this time we turn our body to the right, drop our right heel, our back heel, heel toe this left foot over to the right. And then we check to make sure. Nice straight line, vertical line from our left knee to our left ankle. We're not letting our left hip hug or reach out behind us. We're hugging that left hip underneath us. Thumbs to the sky. We've got a nice buoyant back arch, and the outer edge of our back foot is solid. 3, warrior 2 moments together here. Left forearm across our thigh, right arm up to the sky. It's possible that you stay here. We want to make sure there's no collision of left shoulder and left ear. And maybe left hand on your block on the outside of that left foot. Some of us might decide that right hand on our hip is a more comfortable option. All of us will turn our chest to the sky instead of collapse our chest to the ground. And then we have 3 moments here. Move slowly. Bring your hands to your mat. Spin on that back, those back toes, and step yourself to downward facing dog. Walk yourself forward, feet to your hands. We are hip distance and parallel. Lift your heart, inhale. Hinge, fold as we exhale, and then we inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, V, and we'll pause with our arms along our sides. One more time, inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge and hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, palms flat as you bend your knees, and we step it into down dog. Little bit different this time. Lift your right leg back behind you. That part's not different. Step it forward, help it along. Bring your 2 blocks into the mix so we can align this. Heel toe, this right foot, over to the left a little bit. Turn your back foot flat. Place your block, and you could even stack 2 blocks next to your right foot. Start to straighten your right leg and hug that right hip underneath you so your body can open towards the left, 45 degrees in that back heel. Maybe left hand stays on your hip, possibly left arm up to the sky. Our straight leg has some musculature to it. So press into your right big toe mound, feel your muscles connect. Right hip hugs underneath you, and this is perfection to just stay like this. You can also bring your left hand onto your hip. Maybe you bring your left hand onto your hip and you playfully step up into what's called half moon with me. I'm grabbing my block, I'm taking it with me, and then I lift my left leg back behind me, hugging my right hip underneath me. You can take that left arm up to the sky if you want to. If you happen to have done this little balancing game, bring your left hand onto your hip, step back into the triangle where some of our friends are waiting for us. Let's take a second and enjoy triangle, whether you've been here the whole time or you've returned to it from our flight. Remember, left arm can go up or left hand on your hip. Now, we've got some props to rearrange. So, as you bend your right knee and spin on your left toes, let the props go off to either side and step to down dog, palms flat. Arms and ears are trying to align. You might take a child's pose, just bring your knees to your mat and rest there. Or come into plank position, push the ground away. Bring your knees to your mat and then slowly all the way to our belly. Uncurl your toes, long, strong back bend, either with your hands or your forearms on your mat. Lower down, curl your toes under, come through all fours, and then we make it down dog. The hook in our tailbone lifts us up and back. Lift your left leg, step it through, help it along. Employ the 2 blocks or books so we can do this slowly. And we will heel toe our left foot to the right on this side a little bit. Place our block on the outside of that left foot. Slide our right heel, back heel at 45 degrees. Organize how we're straightening this left leg. So from the ground up, and then we hug this left hip underneath us. Take our right arm up to the sky, thumb to the sky. It might stay this way. You might prefer your right hand on your hip. And the pro tip that I gave you on the first side is you might even stack your books or blocks this way. We're looking for space, alignment, and ease. So use the props that you have in the best possible way. You're the expert when it comes to what's the best possible way. I'm just a guide. You might stay here. It's possible that you bring your right hand on your hip, move your block with you, and you bring that block out in front of your left pinky toe, and your triangle basically takes flight. You could even free your right arm up for a second, or just keep your hand on your hip. Perhaps you're skipping this whole part. Bring your right hand on your hip, look down so you know where you're going. Step back into the triangle pose that our friends might be waiting for us in, and then we'll stay a moment. Maybe hand stays on your hip, or right arm up to the sky. 3 silent, juicy, stretchy moments here. Remember, we've got some props to take care of and a lunge to try to excavate from where we are. So bend your left knee, spin on your back toes, bring your hands to your mat and your blocks off to the side. Now, if you want to take them both to one side, it's fine. Step back to down dog. Lift your right leg. Step your right foot forward, lower your back knee. You might very well use one of your blocks, as I'm going to do, to sit on with your right sit bone. Walk your right foot over to the left, and it might just be like this with a bent back knee. That's fine. You are a little bit thinking of turning your hips forward, but none of this is forced. It is possible that you curl your back toes, your left toes under, and start to make it feel a little bit more like a crescent pose, like that first pose that we did, with the top of that left thigh making its way towards the ground. You'll find a sweet spot where there's just enough stretch to keep it interesting, but not something where you just feel like, oh my God, this has to be over right now, right? We want to align with something that is a little bit more peaceful. So let's find that peaceful place where it's interesting enough to keep us in this present moment. We're not wandering off in our mind to the past or the future, but it's also not so much sensation that it makes us crazy. And then we're going to take about a full minute of quiet time here. Make your way out of this carefully. If you did straighten that back leg a little bit, add the bend back to it. Find your way off the perch of your block, scoot it off out of your way, make your way to down dog. Lift your left leg, step that left foot forward and carefully lower your back knee, your right knee. I'm once again reaching for my block. You might do the same. Walk your left foot over to the right, sit on it, sort of side saddle. Make sure everything's cool with this left knee, for example, your low back, all the places that might give you a little bit of a sign that things are sharp. Oh, hi. And then it's possible that you keep that back knee bent, or you can straighten it. Tippy is showing us how to do down dog and now up dog, right, Boo? And then we will have a moment here of stretch. Go slowly. Our second side here, we'll exit differently, but we start bending our back knee, so that part's the same. You just come off your perch and come to seated first so you can lie down on your back. Once you're lying on your back, place your feet hip distance and parallel. Snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. I love lying on the ground because the feedback of what's happening with your shoulder blades is absolutely incredible. Mine wing out all the time. I slump quite a bit, and once I lie back, I realize that. Maybe you're finding something similar. Let your fingers go to the sky. Keep your shoulder blades imprinting your spine, so not winging out to the side, and then just start to lift your hips up like you wanted to lift them in between these fingers of yours towards the ceiling. And then gently lower that back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Lift your hips up, easy breezy. And then lower your hips back down again. This time as we bring them up, let's leave them up. You can stay just like this. Maybe you put your palms flat on the ground. Maybe you interlace and then tuck your shoulder blades underneath you even more. The choice is yours. We have 3 moments in our bridge. Slowly lower down. Scoot your hips to the right. Let your knees drop to the left. You might cross your right knee over your left knee for a spinal twist. And then come through center and scoot your hips to the left. Let your knees drop to the right. Perhaps your left knee crosses over your right knee. And then we'll bring ourselves back down the middle. Find that shoulder blades underneath you as opposed to winging out. Once again, do what you need to feel that. And you might take your Shavasana final meditation with your knees bent, or if it feels okay in your body, straighten one leg and then the other. And we lie back into the arms of the earth and into our rest and digest. You're welcome to stay here in your Shavasana final meditation for as long as you would like. If it's time, give yourself a little bend to your knees if you haven't already. Roll gently to either side. Help yourself up with the strength of your arms. Take any comfortable seat. Maybe it's a seated cross-legged position. Maybe what you like to do is sit on a block or on your folded blanket. And let's take a moment to align with our gratitude. I'm grateful that we've had this time together to practice, and I look forward to us doing it again together soon. I'm Andrea. Thank you for practicing with me.